Okay. Hi, this is Ice Blue 333. Currently, it is September 21st, 2025. It's the day of the eclipse. What time is it? It is 2:19 p.m. So I got about like 35 minutes to get this done before the eclipse. So I said what I was going to do was pretty much post a video about basically give Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump a natal chart reading. So let's get started. So let's see here. I'm going to post this on True Social, and I'm going to post this on Twitter the best way I can. And I've already posted on AstroSeek, but I want to repost it around the time of the exactness of the eclipse. So let's get started. So Donald J. Trump, natal chart reading. Due to constant emotional losses for Donald Trump's hidden enemies and their beliefs, K2 conjunct Moon inside of Donald Trump's fourth house in Sagittarius, Donald Trump is thrusted into the forefront to king-like status, shocking his opponents and partners, who are also shocked that he is continuously able to gain more and more status. However, this is due to his hidden enemies and their emotional losses and their beliefs in their actions. Their constant attacks on Donald Trump. Trump gains from his open enemies as his 10th house sun, ruler of his first, is in the 12th from his 6th lord, Saturn, which is also in Cancer, which resides in the 11th house, but is disposited by his moon or hidden enemies, or Cancer, because Cancer rules the moon and it rules his 12th house. Even more so, in Trump's 4th house, he has gains from the attacks from his hidden enemies. As the sign Sagittarius, it is naturally the second from Scorpio, or from the sign Scorpio. And Scorpio for Donald Trump rules his 4th house. So attacks on Donald Trump, they will happen because his Mars is conjunct his ascendant. But it will increase his status and security, which causes losses for the moon, because the moon is under the sign of Sagittarius, and it's inside of the house of it's inside of his 4th house, which is ruled by Scorpio for Donald Trump. So let's see here. The moon is only capable of making Trump's 4th house Scorpio more secure, and it gives him more shocking status because K2 is there and Rahu's inside of his 10th house with the moon, and Rahu's in the 10th house with his sun. I mean, you also know that Donald Trump was born on a full moon eclipse. The attacks from Donald Trump's hidden enemies set the foundation for his shocking status. Through many ups and downs, which is Scorpio or 8th house, it solidifies his status as a king or some sort of king, as his natal ascendant is conjunct the fixed star Regulus, which is, I believe it's called the kingmaker or the prince. Either way, it means king, the fixed star Regulus. And it's disposited by the sun in the 10th house. Yeah. Which means, and his sun is also conjunct Rahu and Uranus. Let me pause for a second. Okay, but it's conjunct, his sun is conjunct Rahu and Uranus, which means fated, unbelievable, shocking, king-like success. The attacks from Trump's hidden enemies set the foundation for his shocking status. Through many ups and downs, I've already said this, with Mars being Donald Trump's 4th and 9th house ruler on the ascendant, Donald Trump is a fighter who aggressively fights for financial security, which is 4th, via other people's money, which is Scorpio, because Scorpio rules Donald Trump's 4th house, and also justice, which is Mars rules his 9th house, so that's justice, and through aggressive power because Mars naturally is ruled by Aries, and which is aggressive. Hidden enemies continuously attack Donald Trump from his home, which already has tumultuous ups and downs, highs and lows, gains and losses, which is Scorpio. And Scorpio rules Donald Trump's 4th house. But Trump is used to it. He has lost properties, people, loves enemies. He's had to go to court and he's done so much stuff and had to go through so much stuff. He's used to the ups and downs that life can bring him. That actually brings him security. How that works, I don't know, but he feels secure inside of the chaos of it all. And his hidden enemies just don't get it. Like, how is he able to do this? That's what he had to go through, and that's yeah, it is what it is. And I say Donald Trump's been through even more than that. Donald Trump's hidden enemies, however, are not used to the constant ups and downs that simply Donald Trump is used to. So let me pause for another second. But Donald Trump's hidden enemies, they just can't figure out how he does it, and it's like he's used to it. This chaos brings him secureness. But anyway, this shocks and challenges and destroys his hidden enemies' beliefs and belief systems, because his hidden enemies, which is the moon, is inside of Sagittarius. And being that his hidden enemies are ruled by the moon, which resides in Donald Trump's 4th house, but is debilitated because Scorpio debilitates the moon. Let me just read from this right here, though. But being that Donald Trump's hidden enemies which is ruled by the moon, which resides in Donald Trump's 4th house, and is debilitated in that house, being that Trump's 4th is ruled by the sign Scorpio, which is the natural 8th house ruler. Donald Trump has a weak, debilitated moon, but it brings him lots of status and success. Additionally, Pluto and Mars are in Trump's natal 12th house, ruled by the moon, adding additional debilitation to the moon. Pluto and Mars despises the moon, and the moon despises Pluto and Mars via his natal house setup. This causes additional losses for the moon / hidden enemies. So even though hidden enemies attack Trump constantly, let me see, I lost my dog in place. Even though Donald Trump's hidden enemies attack Trump via Trump's natal Mars conjunct Donald Trump's natal ascendant from the 12th house, it continuously does affect Donald Trump. However, it more so affects Donald Trump's hidden enemies. Mars controls Donald Trump's 4th house, Scorpio, and 9th house, Aries. Again, the moon is in Sagittarius, but in Trump's 4th house. So attacks on Donald Trump causes losses for Trump's hidden enemies, but also causes disruptions in his home. But somehow it brings him security in a weird way. Additionally, to add another layer, Donald Trump's natal Saturn is 8 signs and houses from Donald Trump's natal moon, meaning ups and downs in regards to his emotions / hidden enemies, which is also probably why he has a Gemini sun and can have a dual nature to him. He's used to tumultuous ups and downs. His hidden enemies, however, are not. They're emotional, which causes them shock, anger, and losses, being that Uranus is also opposite Donald Trump's natal moon. In the end, however, the only thing that Trump's hidden enemies can gain from Trump is to try to make money from their beliefs being tested, destroyed, and lost. Because again, Scorpio is a loss to Sagittarius, where the moon resides. Not only that, the moon despises Saturn, which is naturally 7 houses from the moon, or an opponent of the moon, or a partner of the moon. And the moon also despises Mercury, which naturally is 12 signs from the moon, so it causes a loss for the moon. With the saving grace for his opponents or hidden enemies, being that Venus is inside of Donald Trump's 11th house, along with Saturn and Mercury. So this gives his hidden enemies the option of making an amicable deal or an agreement, because Venus naturally rules Libra. But not only that, do I have this here? Yeah, Libra. Because Venus despises Trump's 3rd house, but moreover, his 2nd house His second house is natal Neptune, which is his eighth lord. His natal Chiron, which is his second lord, and his natal Jupiter, which is his fifth house, is exposited by Libra, which again, like I said, Libra is naturally ruled by Venus, and yeah. But all those planets are inside of Donald Trump's second house, so that means that to deal with Trump, the only way that you're gonna win is to strike a meaningful, a lawful deal or a partnership, or partner up with him, or sign a contract, a public contract or a public settlement. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, let me say this again because I skipped it. I said it before I read it. But so the only way to handle Trump is, and not to lose to Trump, is to strike a deal with him, which has been established via several incidents, and his astrology just confirms it. This is difficult to just read like this, but okay. Okay, and so I guess I'm gonna skip on over to just some mythology. So I said, weirdly enough, in mythology, the sun isn't talked about that much, but Kronos or Saturn and Uranus, they were both cursed to be dethroned by their children. And I'm thinking of Bill Clinton right now, because apparently this eclipse is supposed to be a king killer or something big is supposed to go down with the king. And I'm telling you right now, the situation that was supposed to go down with Donald Trump, I believe some of it has happened. Something else may come up that may be out of Donald Trump's control, that may force him to do a job. And like I said, first, Bill Clinton, he gets there's a loss for Bill Clinton, and that happens around September 26th, 2025, because I believe Bill Clinton, he has a progressive aspect to his Saturn, and all the way around, Gavin Newsom, he's having progressions and transits that relate to partnerships. Barron Trump, he's apparently he has to deal with a violent event or an angering event. But later on, and also let me also continue with Donald Trump. There's something that's out of his control, that's angering, or a violent event that's going to that's going to force him to do a job. This is going to force him to give some kind of presidential decree, and we should see this around October 2nd. And like I said, for Bill Clinton, there's something bad that's going to come with Bill Clinton on the 26th of around the 26th. These events can happen 6 days before or 6 days after, but the exact date that's shown is the 26th of September, for something bad to happen for Bill Clinton, and for something angering to happen for Barron Trump. But on October 2nd, I believe that Donald Trump, he has a fated job to do out of some kind of angering event that happens out of his control. And then on October 5th or 6th, I believe, for Bill Clinton, he gets lucky for some reason. But all the while, I looked at Cory Booker's chart, and Cory Booker, for some reason, gets lucky in October 2 times. And it's a conjunction. It's really lucky. I don't know what is up with that. Or I don't know. Anyway, so, and again, this all starts a slew of other events in regards to Bill Clinton, and like having the same astrology as the Monica Lewinsky scandal that happened all the way back in 1998 and 1999. And so that's why I said the Danny Williams Clinton situation and its mythology, and looking at just Uranus conjunct Uranus, like something shocking should happen in October. But anyway, where do I stop at? So basically, both Kronos or Saturn and Uranus, they were terrified of being dethroned by their children, and so I believe I think one of them ate their children, and one of them killed their whatever. They tried to kill their children, whatever. And they got dethroned by their son specifically. But like I said, the astrology definitively shows me that Danny Williams, and I'll say allegedly Clinton for now, allegedly, I believe he is Bill Clinton's biological son. And so, wouldn't it be weird if like because of this Charlie Kirk situation. And yeah, Charlie Kirk. Apparently Bill Clinton is subpoenaed to testify, but I believe the Congress on the 14th of October, 2025, and that is Charlie Kirk's birthday. But not only that, that is also George Floyd's birthday. Go figure. So I was just saying, like, wouldn't it be weird if Donald Trump had fulfilled some kind of prophecy in regards to like a deity getting overthrown by their son or a god or whatever, like whatever, Danny Williams Clinton and Bill Clinton. Anyway, and so if the Danny Williams Clinton situation came out to be true, that would destroy every narrative that the Democrats have been pushing in regards to Donald Trump being a racist, a bigot, a misogynist, everything, a fascist, and all this other stuff. And kind of find out that Bill Clinton, yes, he was the governor of Arkansas, but Arkansas was one of the states that seceded from the Union. Anyway, it makes you wonder why didn't Bill Clinton claim? I mean, if it comes out to be true, why didn't Bill Clinton come out and claim that Danny Williams Clinton, well, Danny Williams was his son, even though the boy begged him to he just wanted to see his father. Anyway, but it destroys every Democratic narrative. And through that, when that narrative is destroyed, that would establish that Donald Trump is actually the king of presidents, or the best president in modern or recorded history. And that could be his legacy, that he exposed the shit out of the hypocrisy of these previous presidents or whatever. Because Obama, Danny Williams Clinton, he begged Obama to look into his case, or look into the blood work and the DNA work or whatever. He begged Monica Lewinsky, apparently, via video. I can't anyway. I say allegedly. He begged Hillary Clinton, I believe, allegedly. He begged Bill Clinton, allegedly, and so on. So I'm like, the hypocrisy. And they say Black Lives Matter, and they also say the Me Too movement, etc. And apparently, if this is true, that means a black woman was probably the first, quote unquote, Monica Lewinsky. And I mean, allegedly, for now. And so, keep in mind, Donald Trump, they tried to kill up Donald Trump. And so Donald Trump has beat every odd that was against him. He was ridiculed by emotional idiots. And yet while as a president, he ruled fairly but strong. And you can say that because he had the option to go after Hillary Clinton during his first term, and he didn't, because he said this would be too bad for our country. I'm not going to do this to you. I'm not going to do it. And yet they locked him up as soon as they got back in power. They tried. They got their mugshot. And they was like, yes, we got our mugshot. And he put it on his I think he put it inside of the Oval Office, so that y'all can see it every day. So you can't say nothing in regards to nothing. Whatever happens, just happens. You hit him first, and then this is just how they say the pendulum swings. Anyway, I'm not taking no sides. I'm just saying. I'm just observing. So Donald Trump beat every odd against him. Yet he ruled fairly and strong, unlike other several lying hypocrites who lied to get and attain and retain power. And yet still Donald Trump won in the end. Even if something happens to him before his presidency ends, it's like this man is beat so many odds. It's like, and imagine him surviving his presidency. Like JFK, they said that JFK was like the best, no, Donald Trump. And I said they could really make a movie out of this. Really, this is surreal. So talk about a major ego boost, but I digress. Anyway, I said Danny Williams Clinton is a Sagittarius. but I don't know what his rising sign is. Bill Clinton is a Leo with a Libra rising. With Bill Clinton's Uranus, which rules his fifth, conjunct Bill Clinton's natal Rahu, which also rules his fifth, in the ninth house. And see, the ninth house is actually 12 houses from the 10th house. So that could mean that a loss of status or career and fame, because Uranus and Rahu rules his fifth house. So he can lose his status and his fame. Let's see, what else? Because Uranus is unpredictable shock, and Rahu is an explosive revelation or a fated event. Jesus Christ, how much did I write here? I said, okay. So it makes me wonder if a fated event is about to take place, like a prophecy. And I end with this. P.S. I did say biblical. Sign astrologer Ice Blue 333, the god of astrology. So let's see here. I think I'm going to go back over just a few more important dates. Oh, let me start here, because I did say that for Taylor Swift, apparently she should have had an angering event around the 18th of September, 2025. And on the 18th of September, I believe, or around that time, I don't really keep up with her, but it seems like she announced that she had a movie or some kind of theater event that that was gonna be some kind of addition to her new orange colored album. So that's that. Also, I believe the orange. Well, there are several colors for the new iPhone or whatever, but for the most powerful one, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I believe. You only have a choice of 3 colors, not black. Talk about racist. Let me stop. Anyway, so the colors for the highest end iPhone is blue, like it's like a night sky blue. Apparently, I don't know the actual colors or the names of the colors, but so it's like a blue, white like the moon, and orange, like how they call Donald Trump, or like the sun. They said Donald Trump. They said what they call Donald Trump Orange Man or whatever. So I'm like, okay, maybe, I don't know, but apparently the point. Is that a threat? Anyway, but apparently the iPhones were supposed to be shipped on the 19th, I believe, of September, right? Or around that time. I forgot. I don't keep up with these things. Anyway, so that's Taylor Swift, the orange color album, and a new movie, the theater release of something or whatever. And then also the iPhone 17 Pro Max, the orange one is the one that's stuck inside of my head. But anyway, around the 18th, I believe, it was either the 17th or the 18th. I believe Donald Trump, he was going somewhere, I believe to England or something like that, or UK, one of those places. And apparently he had 2 major incidents with a plane. I believe the first incident was a plane almost crashed into his plane, and the other incident was the hydraulic system malfunction or whatever, and so they had to make an emergency landing. And so, oh yeah, for me personally, apparently I get omens or whatever, so I see things that I'm like, what the world? I walked out of my house, I believe it was either the 17th or the 18th, and so apparently a tree branch had fell. But not only that, there's an armadillo. Now, it was just sitting there. I was like, the thing was dead. So apparently, an armadillo was apparently inside of a tree, and a tree fell down and killed the armadillo. And that's what brought me to the thought that Donald Trump was probably supposed to go through a major event that day, and somehow he survived. And the only reason why he survived was because the universe probably took Charlie Kirk instead of him, because Donald Trump had other things to do. It was just weird because armadillo is armed. It has all the security. Is this armor on it, and to just be killed by a tree branch that you thought was so secure, and it just fell down and it says you. That could have happened, and it didn't apparently. But maybe I'm just being crazy. Anyway, But that happened. I had to scrape the armadillo up and take it across the road because I was tired of looking at it. I had to get the tree branches off out of the yard or whatever. Weird. But you get omens like that when you do stupid stuff. I mean, do crazy stuff like this. I don't like being an astrologer. I was forced to. I mean, pretty much my career situation forced me to do it. Anyway, imagine being this good to have everything you say, everything that you predict happens word for word. Go figure. Being this good. And yes, you hate doing this shit. Anyway, that was September 18th. Also, Chuck Schumer on September 18th. His progressive Senate conjoined his natal moon. And, like, who knows? Maybe he expected something, too. Just like Tim Walz, he said in one of these rallies he had, he said, we're gonna hear some news pretty soon. I'm like, okay. You want to hear some news about a king? You might get that news. it might not be the news you want. Anyway, so let's see here. On September 20th, 2025, what had me concerned was for Adam Schiff. His progressed moon made a sextile to his progressed Jupiter. And so that it means he got lucky. He gets lucky around the 21st, or around this date. It can be 6 days before, 6 days after. But apparently Chuck Schumer gets lucky. And see, the last progression that was in relation to Donald Trump was all the way back on around, I think it was June 27, 2024. Let me pause for a second. Okay, but so the last progression that happened with Adam Schiff that caught my attention was when his progressed Saturn, it made an aspect to his natal moon, and that was around the time of the first Donald Trump assassination attempt. And I'm like, why is it showing beside this chart? And it's showing that it was like a depressing event, and it was like the energy of that had started out all the way back on June the 24th or the 27th. I don't have it pulled up right now, but it was like June the 27th, I believe, where Chuck Schumer. No. Adam Schiff. I'm sorry. Adam Schiff. He had the progression of his progressed Saturn making an aspect to his moon. That's why I said Donald Trump should be careful around September. Really, he needs to be careful because next month Cory Booker, he gets lucky. I don't know what's going on with him. And also for September 20, 2025, Pete Hegseth, his progressed moon was sextile progressed Saturn. So something like an emotional loss or block happens. I had to hurry because this is like, what time is it? I got about 7 minutes to get this done. Okay, so because it is right now, it is 2:47 p.m. and the eclipse happens at 2:55. So I'm gonna try to end this in like 2 minutes. So let's see here. I can end this now. Anyway, the next few days to worry about, I already said it at the beginning of this video, but still, the next few days to worry about is pretty much the last of this month, and honestly, October 5th, around this time between now and October 5th, is September 21st, 2025, and keep an eye on things I would say from today's September 21st, 2025, from now until October 10th, that's when maybe events should show themselves. Because I don't know, I don't understand why Bill Clinton, he has an emotional loss on around the 26th of September, but then he gets lucky on around October 6th. But also Donald Trump, he has a fated job to do around the 27th and the October 1st or 2nd. So it looks like something else comes up. So I think, do I want to stop it here? It says 2:13. Yeah, I think I want to stop it here. Everyone just needs to be careful. I did Donald Trump's chart reading. And I guess I will say this: I'm the first one who said Danny Williams Clinton could looking at astrology could be Bill Clinton's biological son. Yes, the god of astrology, astrologer Ice Blue 33. Anyway, let me also do this right here too, because I'm trying to just get. Okay, 30 seconds left. So let me see here. I said they said that there was an article that was released on the New Republic that Bill Clinton, his size is like the circumference of a quarter, and that's in about 5 inches. And I mean, tell me you're small without telling me you're small. Anyway, is that it? 5 seconds left. Enjoy the eclipse. It's gonna be crazy. Bye.